Thank you so much, Speaker. I rise today to speak in strong support of two important bills: the Police Powers and Responsibility Making Jack's Law Permanent and Other Legislation Amendment Bill 2025, and the Corrective Services Parole Board Amendment Bill 2025. These bills are about real people in real communities like mine in Redlands, facing very real harm. Because let's be honest, knife crime, parole breaches, and repeat offending is more than just a media headline. There are real victims and real families. These crimes are lived experiences for families, frontline work officers, and small businesses in our Redlands community and right across Queensland. Queenslanders have made it clear they want action, not excuses. In December 2023, Redlands local and Army veteran Chris Sanders was brutally stabbed by a teenager at the Alexandra Hills shopping centre. Chris had simply gone to buy a roast chicken when he was approached by a group of teens. After an exchange of words, one of them followed him and stabbed him in broad daylight, one wound coming within centimetres of his heart. His wife Jodie watched in horror as her husband collapsed, bleeding and struggling to breathe. That single act of violence changed their lives forever, and it shook the entire Redlands community. When I spoke with locals afterwards, I heard and felt their fear and frustration. Parents too afraid to let their kids walk through the shops. Police officers facing more and more young people carrying knives. What happened to Chris wasn't just an attack on him, it was an attack on our community's sense of security. That's why making Jack's laws permanent is so critical. Between April 2023 and March 2025, over 115,000 people were scanned and 1,124 weapons were seized. That's not just numbers, that's thousands of potential tragedies prevented. This bill removes red tape, gives our frontline police the ability to act quickly in safe night precincts and transport hubs, and provides a clear authorisation process for other public spaces. In Redlands, this includes places like Redland Bay Village, our Simbi ferry terminals, and Victoria Point Town Centre, where families shop, teens hang out, and some local businesses like our movie cinemas operate late until the night. Our police officers shouldn't have to wait for written notices or venue managers' approval just to use a handheld scanner. This bill gives them the tool and trust they need while still maintaining safeguards like body-worn cameras, community reporting, and strict oversight. I want to take this opportunity today to acknowledge Acting Assistant Commissioner Reece Wildman, whose leadership has been critical in the rollout of Jack's laws. As he said recently, by scanning for detecting and removing dangerous weapons from Queensland streets, police aim to reduce the harm these weapons cause in the community and educate the public on the risks of unlawfully carrying a weapon. That's exactly the kind of practical and on-the-ground approach this legislation supports. Under his guidance, Queensland Police have removed hundreds of weapons during wanding operations. A powerful reminder that every knife taken off the street is a potential life saved. I thank Acting Assistant Commissioner Wildman for his dedication to community safety and his frontline support of this life-saving law. We owe it to Chris Sanders, we owe it to Jack Beasley, the young man this law is named after, tragically killed by a knife-wielding offender on the Gold Coast. And we owe it to every Queenslander who simply wants to feel safe in their community. But safety also depends on a justice system that responds when things go wrong. And that's why the Corrective Services Parole Board Amendment Bill comes in. Right now, a single parole board member can decide not to suspend parole, even when someone poses an unacceptable risk to community safety. And that decision doesn't have to be reviewed by the full board. That's a major oversight. And in a place like Redlands, where we've seen repeat offenders out on parole commit serious crimes, that poor oversight can have a devastating consequence. This bill fixes that. It ensures that any urgent decision not to suspend parole must be reviewed by the Parole Board within 2 business days. That's just common sense. No one person should have the power to risk the safety of a whole community without putting proper checks in place. Some will try to claim there is no gap, but the president of the Parole Board himself told the committee otherwise. He said, and I quote, "There is a hole there. There is a gap. This government is closing that gap." In fact, this bill goes even further. It validates past board decisions to reverse or review single-member determinations, decisions that were made in the interest of public safety but have carried legal uncertainty. That uncertainty ends here. Speaker, I want to speak directly to those who may raise concerns about civil liberties. That conversation is always worth having in a democracy. But what are we really talking about here? A non-invasive scan that takes just seconds? A mandatory review process when a parolee poses a serious risk? These are reasonable, proportionate steps, not excessive overreach. What's unreasonable is allowing knives into shopping centres, parks and ferry terminals without consequence. What's unreasonable is letting a parolee who's breached conditions continue to walk the streets unchecked. Queenslanders, and especially Redlanders, deserve better. These bills strike the right balance. They protect rights without compromising safety. They uphold the integrity of our justice system while empowering it to act when the stakes are high. Importantly, the Police Powers and Responsibilities Bill also includes provisions to support our local volunteers, the very people who step up when disaster strikes. It confirms Marine Rescue Queensland's charitable status, ensuring a smooth and lawful transition of assets from long-serving volunteer organisation. In Redlands, marine safety is a part of our way of life. From the mainland to the southern Moreton Bay Islands, our marine crews are often the first and sometimes only responders when lives are at risk. And I thank every single one of them for their dedication, especially Marine Rescue Queensland at Victoria Point, where my grandfather is a life member. The bill also validates past SES appointments, a critical step for communities like mine where SES crews play a vital role in flood responses, storm recovery and search and rescues, as they did during TC Alfred. These reforms ensure our frontline responders, whether in uniform or in a volunteer vest, are supported by the law, not restricted by it. Speaker, I am proud to stand here as a member of the government. We listen, we learn, and we will lead. And I am proud to stand up for Redlands residents like Chris and Jody Sanders, and proud to champion the voice of victims over the excuses of the offenders. The people of Redlands, like communities across Queensland, have said loud and clear, they want safety restored. They want parole breaches taken seriously. They want knife crime addressed. They want the justice system to act not after tragedy, but before. These bills answer that call. They are practical, they are proportionate, and above all, they are necessary. Let's honour Jack Beasley and all those lives that have been shattered by preventable crime. Let's acknowledge the extraordinary strength and courage of Jack's parents, Brett and Belinda Beasley, who turned unimaginable grief into tireless advocacy. Their determination to make Jack's law a reality has already saved lives, and their legacy will continue to protect countless more.